If you want the best popper build in 2K25 that's shooting over people like this, then this is the one for you. What's good, everybody? We are back, and today I am giving you guys the best popper build in 2K25. I'm telling you right now, everybody claims to have the best builds, but this really is the best park center you can make. This build will have you shooting over people like the intro clips, grabbing rebounds over 7-foot centers, and even throwing down some nasty dunks. I've been having a ton of fun on this popper build. Make sure you guys watch all the way through. I explain why I did everything I did in this video for this build. Real quick before we get started, drop a like, drop a sub, turn the notifications on. We are dropping bangers all through 2K25. Let's get into this build. I have a few clips here to show you guys from the first couple days of playing on this build. As you can see, we're hawking lanes, coming down to the other end. I'm going to be wide open for three, and we are definitely going to knock that down. This build is super consistent shooting, super consistent getting steals. As you can see, we're pulling down the rebound, running all the way down the court, hitting a three over the other team's center. I love the height I went with for this popper because we're so much faster than the other centers. As you can see, blowing by and throwing that dunk down and one. And then we're getting the shot off fast enough he can't even contest me. Defense is crazy, and if they do blow by you, we're chasing that down like LeBron. Let me show you guys how to make this thing. All right, so in the builder, we're gonna go power forward, height 6'7", 235 pounds with a 7'3" wingspan. And I already know what some of you guys are thinking. 6'7" is way too short for a popper. I'm telling you right now, it is not this year. The stats on this build help me get stops on centers in the paint all the time, and I'm ripping down rebounds over their heads, with the added benefit of being extremely fast compared to everybody that's guarding me. You really don't want to bring a big center to the park. It's just not the meta, except for maybe on the twos, but I'm telling you right now, this build gets the job done. Trust me on this, I'm not wasting any more of your time. Let's get into the stats. All right, starting out with the finishing here, we're gonna go with a 73 close shot, 71 driving dunk, 81 standing dunk, and a 56 post control. It might not look like much, but it gets the job done, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why I chose each threshold to hit for each stat category. So 73 close shot, ended up just coming up with other stats. Wasn't too concerned about that on this build. 71 driving dunk, I'm still labbing a bunch of different dunk packages, but I know it unlocks some that I really like to use. So I wanted to make sure I could hit that, and having this rating, if you're wide open, or I mean if there's somebody even kind of near you, you're gonna be able to throw it down pretty easily. You're not gonna be a high flyer by any means, but you'll still be dunking pretty consistently. And then with the 81 standing dunk, this is gonna give us silver aerial wizard and silver rise up. Last year's standing dunk didn't matter all that much, but this year it makes a huge difference. I was playing without the standing dunk upgraded and not getting any kind of standing dunks, but as soon as I upgraded it, I was getting them constantly. I'm not gonna go through and name all the standing dunk animations you get with this, but there's a lot, and it will help you if you're standing under the basket. Even if somebody's guarding you, you're gonna throw it down a lot of the time. And then don't worry about the 56 post control. That just ended up coming up with some other stuff we were upgrading. Overall, very decent for a popper build. I've seen a lot of poppers with much worse finishing. Let's get on to the shooting. All right, so for the shooting, this build is basically a stretch big. We're gonna get an 87 mid-range, a 79 3, and then I put that free throw on 70 just in case I wanna play some rec or pro-am on this build. 87 mid-range is not only gonna unlock a silver deadeye, silver set shot specialist, and silver shifty shooter, but it's also gonna unlock a ton of jump shot bases and animations that you're gonna want on your build. I've been greening more consistently the first couple days of this game than I was pretty much all last year, I'm not even gonna lie. Shooting is very easy. I'm telling you right now, this build is basically a stretch. Feel free to tweak this however you want, but this did end up getting me all the badges that I wanted, because if you go any farther down on mid-range, you end up losing silver shifty shooter, which is like the best shooting badge in my opinion. So if I were you, I'd rock with this. Not too much else to say about the shooting though. Let's check out the playmaking. All right, so for the playmaking, I've been saying it all year. I've been saying it every 2K that comes out. Pass accuracy does not need to be very high. I usually go with 70 on all my builds, even my point guards. But this 65 threshold is going to get us bronze break starter and bronze dimer. As long as you have some IQ when you're throwing your passes, it's definitely more than enough, even with lane steals being crazy this year. And then as for the speed with ball and ball handle, not too much to say there. This really isn't a dribbling build. And if that's what you're looking for, I have other build videos on those, but this is not one of those stretch builds that's going to be dribbling around. You're here to play defense, set screens, grab rebounds, and hit open shots. Super simple on the playmaking, but the defense is really where this build shines, so let's check that out. All right, so in the defensive category, we went with a 74 interior, 85 perimeter, 85 steal, 84 block. And then for the rebounding, we went with an 83 offensive and a 92 defensive. For being a 6'7" popper with a 74 interior, I do have max wingspan. And me personally, I'm getting a stop on bigger centers in the paint almost every time. It might not seem like much, but it really is getting the job done this year so far. And this rating will give you a silver paint patroller badge and bronze post lockdown. So those are going to also help you stop those bigger centers. And anybody your size or smaller, you're getting stops on them every single time if you play good defense. We're not only getting stops in the paint though, we have an 85 perimeter and an 85 steal. And at this perimeter defense rating, we're gonna get silver challenger, silver on-ball menace, which is like clamps if you haven't seen my other videos talking about it, silver pick dodger, gold immovable enforcer, which is by far the best defensive badge this year in my opinion, and then gold off-ball pest. I'm not even joking, if you wanted to run this build at lockdown, you could. That's how good the defensive stats are. With the 85 steal, I've also been talking about this in all my build videos. You're gonna get silver glove and gold interceptor. I really think this is the sweet spot just because of how good that gold interceptor is. Every single lane steal, you guys saw it in the clips, I am grabbing that out of the air every single time. They're super consistent this year, so I wanted to make sure to get that badge. And then also to help out with some paint defense stuff, I went with an 84 block, which is gonna give a silver high flying denier, silver paint patroller, and gold pogo stick. I've talked about it already. You're gonna get a bunch of blocks. You're gonna get a ton of stops in the paint. And then for the rebounding, I honestly, before I made this build, didn't think 6'7" was gonna be enough to get a bunch of rebounds. But with the 83 offensive, 92 defensive, we are gonna get gold rebound chaser, which I've been jumping up and snagging a lot of rebounds over bigger centers. I'm very impressed with how well this has been doing. This is also a situation where I'm probably gonna use my max +1 to take us from gold rebound chaser to Hall of Fame, just to get that extra advantage, and I don't really think there's any other badges I'd want to use on this build for that. I'm gonna stop yapping about how good the defense is though. Let's get on to the physicals. And down here in the physicals, 83 speed, like I said before, we're gonna be faster than almost every center guarding us. Those bigger builds really aren't getting speed like that this year, so this 83 is gonna be really good for us. 83 agility, very important on any build you're playing defense on. You saw our defensive stats. We wanna be able to slide, we wanna be fast. We're gonna be moving on defense. This 83 is gonna be great for us. And then we went with a 91 strength. I don't wanna get pushed around by bigger centers. And I wanted the immovable enforcer, which came with this strength rating, as well as gold brick wall and gold box out beast. I wanna be the one throwing people around. I don't wanna get thrown around. So I wanted to make sure to get my strength as high as I could on this build. And then vertical, it says it right in the description. We went with an 80 because it helps with your rebounding. It helps with blocks. And it's also gonna contribute to get us some of those standing dunk animations. Not too much else to say about the physicals though. I'm having a ton of fun on this build. This really is one of those builds that if you're looking to guard 1 through 5, it can do that. I'm gonna show you the jump shot I'm using on this build real quick. Just gonna throw this on the screen quick here for you guys. I've shown this in almost every video and I have a jump shot video out, but this is the one I'm using on all of my 6'5" to 6'9" builds. Go ahead and throw it on if you wanna shoot more consistently. This build also gets a really cool name though, so let's check that out. And as you can see, the build is called a two-way board hunting stretch. This is a super cool name for a popper. And on top of it, it's the best build I've seen for this position in the game. I appreciate you guys watching all the way through. Come back tomorrow. We're daily uploading all the way through September. We'll see you in the next one.